Hi, my friends. Do you have eyes like Jesus? Some Pharisees who were with him heard him say this and asked. John chapter 9:40. What are we blind to? So when Jesus was invited to dinner in the house of prominent Pharisees named Simon, their dinner was interpreted by a woman. So touched by instruction with Jesus, she fell to his feet and covered them with tears and wiped them with her hair. What did Simon see? He didn't see what God wanted him to see. He was blind to the very work of God. Simon's perspective was this. In Luke chapter 7:39, when Pharisees who had invited him saw this, he said to himself, if this man were prophet, he wouldn't know who is touching him and what kind of woman she is, that she is a sinner. So Simon didn't see the woman. Rather, he put her in a predefined category in his mind, labeled sinner. So, do you see the God's plan for restoration? It's easy to see the sinner because the curious no heart instruction. But do you see the person? Do you see the value of every individual like Jesus did? Simon the Pharisee, who was the host of the party, was blinded to the miracles. He had eyes, but he couldn't see. He only saw the sinner. He saw what is considered an unholy life. But he didn't see what truly counted. He couldn't see the unfailing love of God had for this woman. He couldn't see the acceptance Jesus offered her. He couldn't see how it was grace, not judgment, that he had led this woman into the freedom. He misses it all because what he saw was a sinner. What he was blind to was the transaction that had happened in the woman's heart through the love and kindnesses of God. The crowds were amazed at how Jesus multiplied a few loaves of bread into the feast for 5,000 people by the miraculous hand of God. But the woman who cried, so that label allowed him to cast his judgment upon her without consulting his heart or the heart of God. But Jesus was different. He didn't see the religiously unacceptable lifestyle. He saw the woman. He saw the true person, not the pain and corruption that life has pulled her into. He saw the child. He saw the one he came to rescue. The woman now set free was overflowing with the thankfulness. Heaven was erupting with joy and dancing. God was rejoicing. But Simon missed the whole thing. So Jesus asked him, "Do you see this woman?" Jesus' word ring in my heart all the time. I think the same question can be applied to all of us. Do you see this woman? Do you see this man? Do you see this with love? Do you see them with love? Do you see them or as the very reason Jesus came? So do you see God's plan for restoration? So the crowd were amazed at how Jesus multiplied a few loaves of bread into a feast for 5,000 people by the miraculous hand of God. But the woman who cried at the feet of Jesus, washed his feet with tears of joy, was far more amazed at how Jesus transformed her heart through an authentic interactions with his love and grace. When we see the people the way Jesus see them, then we truly do see love is the eyesight of God. Love is way, rescues, salvation, reconciliation, and new life is the God's agenda. For Jesus came into the condemn the world, but to save the world through himself. The gospel is called good news. What is good about it? It is good news because Jesus saves. He loves and thankful. He sees us all. May Lord Jesus bless you. Amen.